Okay, so 6.5, we are going to be rewriting equations to put them in slope-intercept form. So our equations are going to have x and y both on the same side, but slope-intercept form has only y by itself, correct? What is slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we're going to want to put our equations in slope-intercept form because that one is way easier to graph than x and y intercepts. Agreed? Okay, so, or a table. So you are going to want to put it in y-intercept form. So how do we do that? It's really simple. You just solve to get y by itself. So example 1, we have two examples here. First one is 6x plus y equals 4. Now if I want to get y by itself, guys, that means I have to get rid of 6x. How would I move 6x to the other side, Samuel? You just subtract it. So just subtract 6x from both sides. Okay, so that's going to give me on the left y equals, and remember guys, we want x's in front, so this is going to be negative 6x plus 4. And that's it. What's your y-intercept on that one? 4. What's the slope? Negative 6. You don't have to do anything. That's all they want us to do. I know. Now look at the second one right next to it. Negative 3y plus 6 equals 9x. This time there's a number in front of the y. But what do I have to do first before I get rid of that negative 3? Subtract the 6. So subtract 6 from both sides. So that gives me negative 3y equals 9x minus 6. Not just 9x, by the whole thing. So you have to divide negative 3 by the entire thing, meaning that I divide 9x by negative 3 and negative 6 by negative 3. Okay? So that's going to give me y equals what? What's 9x divided by negative 3?
Negative 3x.
Negative 3x. What's negative 6 divided by negative 3? Positive 2. So my y equals mx plus b is negative 3x plus 2. What's the y-intercept here? 2. What's the slope? Negative 3. Good. Example 2. 3x plus y equals 2. And this time I want you to graph it. Now, you could use a table or you could use x and y intercepts. But if you notice, the x-intercept would be a fraction. Does everybody see that? If I was to use x and y intercepts, y would be 0, so that would give me 3x equals 2. So my x-intercept would be what? Not 3 over 2. 2 over 3. That's not as nice to graph. So instead of doing x and y intercepts, we're going to solve for y and put it into slope-intercept form. So what should I do? Subtract the 3x. Which one do we want in front, the 2 or the negative 3x? Negative 3x. Good. So this is going to be y equals negative 3x plus 2. What is my slope? M. Negative 3. Or negative 3 over 1. Remember, slope is rise over run. So we like to put it as a fraction. What's the y-intercept, the b? 2. So how would I graph this, guys? You should be experts at this by now. What do I do first to graph? Go where? Up to. Put a point. And then what do I do? Okay, so down 3, 1, 2, 3, and? Okay, now, how many negatives do you see there? Just one. So we have to attach the negative either to the top or the bottom. It does not get attached to both. I always go ahead and just attach my negative to the bottom. Or, I mean, sorry, not to the bottom, to the top. So what's my rise here? -3. What's my run? +1. So to graph the next point, I would go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and right 1. From the first dot that you graphed, yes, not from 0. Now you can draw a line between the two. Oops. Okay, what would have happened if I attached the, what would have happened if I attached the negative to the, erase it. So this was y equals -3x plus 2. So our slope was -3/1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, what would have happened if I attached the negative to the 1 instead of to the 3? What would my rise have been in that case? Positive or negative? Positive. So I could have gone up 3, 1, 2, 3, and left 1. My line wasn't perfect, but it would still lie on the line. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you attach it to the top or the bottom. You'll still get the same answer, okay? As long as you only use one negative. Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
So try the next one on your own. 2y equals 4x plus 2. Yeah. So in this problem, guys, y is already almost by itself. So we just divide the whole thing by 2. So the way that I draw this, typically you can write it as the whole thing divided by 2, or if you want to remind yourself, you can draw 4x divided by 2 and 2 divided by 2. Do you like that better? Okay, so divide every single term by 2, because watch what happens. The 2's cancel here, so I get y equals, what's 4x divided by 2? 2x. And what's 2 divided by 2? 1. So what is my slope? 2 over 1. And what's my y-intercept? 1. So to graph this, because you divide everything by 2. You have to divide everything by 2. So my y-intercept is 1, so I go up 1, and my point is right here. How many spaces do I count up or down? 2. Up 2. So up 1, 2, and over 1. So my other point should be here. How many of you got that correct? Fabulous. All right, guys, example 3. 2x plus 3y equals 6. Now we're going to take what we did in examples 1 and 2 and put them together into one problem. So what do I have to do first to get y by itself? I'm hearing some subtract what? 2x. So that gives me 3y equals -2x plus 6. But y is still not by itself. So what would be my next step? Divide by 3. So divide everything by 3. So I get y equals -2 over 3x plus 2. Okay, what's my slope then? I'm going to write off to the side. -2 over 3 Remember, for slope, I always attach it to the top. And what's your B? Your y-intercept? 2. Okay, so graph it now. Okay, guys, what do I do first to graph? Go up 2. Put a point. Okay, now I use my slope, and which direction do I go? Down 2 over 3. 1, 2, 3. So my point is going to end up being right here. Okay, now when I'm counting my slope, do I start at 0, 0, or do I start at the point I just plotted?
Down 2 or down?
The one I just did. So down 2, right 3. Because remember, the negative is attached to the top. And then draw your line. Hey, that was a pretty good straight line, huh? Not bad. Thank you. Last ones. X equals -4 and y equals -2. What do you notice are different about these two than everything else we've worked with so far? Natalie? They're separate. How many variables are in each one? Just one. These are our special lines. Okay? Special. Oh my gosh. Let's start all over. That's some special handwriting, huh? Special lines. Okay, I'm working on it. Okay, special lines. X equals -4. Let's think about it. There is no y at all. No y. So what do you think the slope of this one is? There's no y at all. Y does not show up ever. Go back and look at your notes from yesterday. There's 2 types of lines that we're going to be looking at. Vertical and horizontal. If there's no y at all, which one do you guys think is the vertical line? The x or the y one? Okay, take a look at it. This first one, x equals -4. What this is telling me is that no matter what y I use, my x will always be -4. So you can look at this kind of as a T-chart. Here's your x and here's your y. Let's just plug in 2 x's, -4 and -4. It has to be -4, right? Pick y's, any y's. 2 and 7? Okay, 2 and 7. So what I want you all to do right now is plot those points, -4, 2, and -4, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There should be one right there. And -4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One right here. What does that line look like? Vertical or horizontal?
Vertical.
Vertical. Oops.
That's cool. You teach off of that.
Yeah, you can pick any number. What this is telling us, x equals -4. X has to be -4. That's what that equation is telling us. You can pick any y you want because it doesn't tell us anything for y. All it says is x has to be -4. So it's a vertical line. Is this slope 0 or undefined? Undefined because our little man is going to fall off the graph, right? So, really quickly, guys, if you have y equals -2, which line do you think that's going to be? That's going to be horizontal through -2. Looks like that. Slope of what? 0 or undefined? A horizontal? 0 because there's no hill, right?